So, let's talk about the confrontation. All right, so I was in that shelter up in Big Bear for 2.5 weeks, maybe. Maybe I lasted that long, I don't know. But then I found myself homeless and no money. We're just going to fast forward it to my sister told me about U.S. vets out in Long Beach. She didn't know Long Beach, but basically, all right, if you're a veteran like me and you suffered any sexual trauma or you have PTSD, you were blown up a few times or whatever, the VA can help. They can provide housing, up to 6 years of housing and help you get back on your feet. All right, that's the PSA. So I was at U.S. Vets in Long Beach for over 2 years, and they've really helped me get back up on my feet and build myself back up to where I could emotionally handle the world again. But, all right, so should this shelter in Pomona, they knew I was a veteran, and, they didn't know about the program for the veterans. That's why I'm telling you guys, if you're a veteran and you've been through anything bad, go to any VA hospital. They will hook you up, I promise you. That's a pretty safe bet. And even if you got a dishonorable discharge, they will hook you up, okay? Because, okay, I'm going to back that up a little bit. What they're doing is they're changing it. They're thinking like, okay, maybe they kicked you out because you did some drugs in the military, but you could have been blown up 2 or 3 times beforehand and had the PTSD, and that's why you went to the drug. So research it a little, okay? So my saving grace was when I got to U.S. Vets. They took wonderful care of me, and finally I was able to leave on my own. So where did I go to? I went back to my first shelter because I was livid. This is what the first shelter should have done, or they should have never gained my trust and got me to escape my husband. They put me in a lot of tragedy. So I happen to know where, okay, domestic violence shelters, they don't put it out here. Hey, everybody, over here is where the house is that we're housing all these people of domestic violence. They don't advertise that. Why? Because we're going back to the woman because this is what I know, because they don't want some guy to go in there with a handgun and go boom, boom, boom and kill everybody, okay, to get to their spouse, or try to grab their spouse. So these things are kept secret. So I go to my first domestic violence shelter that lied to me and didn't know about you being a disabled veteran. And oh man, I was so mad. So I go to the front door of the office where the therapy is, and I ask for this person in name because I honestly wanted to tell him, hey, if there's a disabled veteran, you don't have to do anything. Just tell them to go to a VA hospital. They will arrange everything for you. So I go into the office area and they're like, oh, I'm sorry, she's not in. She's in a meeting right now. And it's like, oh, okay, well, I really need to talk to her. Oh, well, we're sorry. No, we don't. Well, it'll be another hour and you need to make an appointment to talk to her. It's like, I'm not making an appointment to talk to her. So I knew where the domestic violence shelter is. Now, this is a gated community and everything, but you have the gate on the doors and then you have the shelter. So I knew I could just walk right up there. Hello, I'm here. It's like, I would like to talk to this person. And they're like, look, we told you she is in a meeting right now and you can't talk to her. And I'm like, oh, all right, so she's in a meeting. Well, what I have to say is very important. So if you can't drag her butt out from the meeting, I will let everyone I know, I will tell them where this domestic violence shelter is. Isn't that wonderful? And they're like, you wouldn't do that. And it's like, yes, I would. This shelter almost cost me my life. And they're like, hold on. And then within 30 seconds, she's at the door. And it's like, we didn't do anything to you. And I said, did you know that I was a veteran and that veterans provide housing, especially if something bad happened to you in the military and you had all this paperwork, but you didn't know to call a VA shelter, did you? And she's like, well, no, I've never heard of this program before. And it's like, don't you think you should know of this program? This program's huge. I'm surprised she didn't know about it. This program is huge and she didn't know about it. And so I whip out my military ID and I said, see this card? This card means they pay me a lot of money because they messed me up. They took me in. They took me in for 2 years, and they made sure, number one, my divorce was final. They made sure that I got Social Security because the psychologist and everybody knew I couldn't handle any stress at all. And, you know, here it is 10 years later, and I'm still not sleeping, and I still have a lot of the same problems. But they took me in, they took care of me, and I straightened that lady out. And I'm like, repeat after me. If you get another veteran in here, and she's like, I understand to call the VA hospital. And I'm like, good. That's what you should have done with me. And you should also apologize to me for lying to me about the place up in Big Bear. And she's like, what do you mean? And I go, you knew full darn well there were 4 women to a room. You have to know this stuff, because if you don't know that, you shouldn't have sent me up there. I was livid. All right, guys, I'm sorry for putting this out there. To me, it's negative, but I want you to be aware, especially if you're a victim of domestic violence, what could happen to you. And especially if you're a veteran, oh my gosh, the smartest thing I ever did was join the military. Thanks, Dad, for that. And thanks, Big Sister, for all your help. If it wasn't for my sister telling me about it, I wouldn't have known it. So there you go. There you know it. If you didn't watch part 1, exposing their dirty little secrets of domestic violence shelters, please do that. I hope you like this. Please comment below. Let me know what you think. All right, guys, I hope to see you down the road. And if you have any questions on shelters, just write it down there. I'm sure I have a good enough answer. Better than that one shelter. All right, bye, guys.